and he will speak about warehouse excellence. You are most welcome, Dr. Muhammad. Dr. Muhammad Fuad. Okay. Since he is not available, we can go with Dr. Khalid Al-Jahani. Dr. Khalid, you are with us?
Yes, Abdulmajid, thank you. I'm here.
Yes. Okay, I will introduce you now right now. Dr. Khalid Al-Jahani, he is working in University of Jeddah, and he will speak about effective implementation of warehouse automation strategic insight for logistic company. The stage is yours, Dr. Khalid.
Great. Are the slides shown on the screen?
Yes, it's shown.
Excellent. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm grateful to the organizing committee to share some of the practical insights. Quickly to introduce myself, my name is Dr. Khalid Al-Jahani, and I come from almost, I would say, a mix of teaching and consulting background. I have almost about 18 years of experience working in several oil and gas and operation companies, and I have been actually teaching and training supply chain logistics for the past 12 years. And our topic today is simply going back to the fundamentals and the due diligence when a company, a logistics company, is considering implementing full warehouse automation in their warehouses. Quite often, companies get very excited when it comes to going for robotics, for example, pickers, or full automation, whether it is sortation. However, it's quite, I would say, important to pay attention to the fundamentals of how we can ensure that our implementation goes, it's carefully. So today, inshallah, I'll talk about what is the value of automation in general for warehouses. When is actually full automation, I would say, justified? What are some of the key challenges that companies they have to consider beforehand, and even thinking about the automation project itself? And some key, I would say, strategy insights that hopefully down the road will help those logistics company avoid, I would say, unnecessary obstacles and problems down the road. So I would say, generally speaking, for most of the industries that we have here, Saudi, I would say automation has a value or a merit whenever, for example, we consider that a company is looking for boosting the operational speed, because whenever we talk about, for example, robots, even drones for compliance, whenever we're considering expediting the way that we perform those warehouse operation, automation can be of a great value. Whenever in industries that we're looking for enhancing accuracy, in industries that, for example, the quality of the product is of an importance, I would say automation is of a great value. Right now with the expansion of logistics industry, many companies are actually experiencing labor shortage, and this is everywhere actually. Another point or another merit or value of automation is simply, I would say, enhancing the safety and the compliance. Automation technologies can really help companies avoid a lot of issues related to compliance, product quantity. So I would say all of those points are often important merit and value when it comes to automation. And the last one would be simply for companies, especially that they have seasonal demand. Automation can bring a lot of scalability opportunities, whether you need to scale up or down your operation. Now, the question is full automation for any logistics company? Not necessarily. Typically, for companies that they have, I would say, a 24-hour operation, that their products are in and out in quite a big volume, there is an actually economies of scale here right now. So due to the high cost of automation, technologies, implementation, and training, this can be justified. In case of a logistics company or a warehouse company has a lot of repetitive and labor-intensive tasks, here we can actually consider automation that will significantly improve the efficiency of those versus the manpower scaled operation. In case of ergonomic concern, like for example, in case of heavy lifting or chemical, handling, automation can be of a great value and can be considerably justified. Whenever companies right now, due to the higher, I would say, cost of real estate, now commercial properties are becoming more expensive. There is a very limited availability of available commercial properties and industrial properties. So here, automation can actually help company avoid the higher cost of those real estate properties. Now, if we are believing and considering all those great values, then what makes, I would say, implementing robotic, for example, pickers or full sortation solution or fully automated retrieval system, why is it so difficult? I would say there are several challenges and obstacles. Some of them are related to financial aspects. Some of them are related to operational aspects. Very often, I would say, people from the operational side gets too excited and they start immediately looking at the operational improvements, considering how the automation can actually make our operation really better. When it comes to the technology provider, simply they're considering of making a sales and expanding the market share of their company. However, very often companies, prior to the implementation, they ignore the financial planning and implication of the project itself. Did we do a proper and a rigorous, ROI calculation? Are we able to reach the break-even point? How long do we have to operate? How much volume and operation do we need to consider? Do we have enough, for example, volume? So all of those financial planning aspects will help you avoid later asking the questions, did we end up with a very costly solution that we don't have enough baseline operation to simply address or not? Another issue is sometimes prior to the implementation, operational people, they might focus on the actual use of the, I would say, the automation technology itself, but they ignore other, I would say, costs, such as the energy cost. Right now, the cost of energy is increasing everywhere. So what's the cost of the automation itself versus what we have right now? What about the maintenance? Maintenance and repair is a quite challenge. If you overlook it, you might run into issues later where we have an excellent operating technology, but if problem happens, you have to shut down that part of your warehouse because maybe maintenance is not readily available. What about system upgrades? Do we have to invest or dedicate costs related to those system upgrades? Another, I would say, challenge is simply the conflict between what we have right now and the fully automated section in our warehouse. Unfortunately, I've seen several warehouses where those operations are simply, they become silos, where there's a manual based operation that is, for example, managed by operational staff, and there is another section in the warehouse that is fully automated. The layouts don't coexist, the processes don't coexist, even the workflows are not compatible. Some equipment can be only manually used, while another section. So to speak, you can have, unfortunately, operational silos, different teams that don't speak the same operational languages. And this is unfortunately where sometimes blame happen. So those challenges can unfortunately end up hurting the automation project, although it's an excellent technology, but you need to consider them beforehand. I would say another challenge that we need to consider as well is the legacy system, the information infrastructure technology that we have in our company right now. Are there any data sync between what we have right now? So for example, touching back on the previous points I highlighted, if I need to, for example, retrieve the quality of my operation in this fully automated section, it's with the click of a button. However, some of the other workflows that are manual, I'm still having data sync issues. We're human. What will happen that maybe you will be on top of your operation in terms of the automated section, but in the manual operation, problem will happen. I'm not saying that the warehouse cannot be fully automated, all of the operation, but in certain tasks, certain functions, you cannot go all the way from the get-go. Another, I would say, challenge might be related to the transition. Very often, one of the challenges is that companies, they believe before starting the actual implementation that we can do it all in one phase, in one go. And this is where problem happens because we go through different phases. A major challenge is related to the change management component. People are afraid and reluctant whenever they see new technologies because they're concerned that it's simply a way of replacing them. You have 20, 30 people working in your warehouse team, and all of a sudden you're only using a fully automated function. People will consider that it's a way to replace them, so they will lose their job. However, if we offer them the proper training and we build them and incorporate their, I would say, input through the project, hopefully we can avoid this unnecessary conflict. Another challenge, as I mentioned earlier, related to the support aspect of whenever we operate. And I've seen and I talked to several companies that they have different automation operation within their warehouse. And they informed me that some of the challenges that whenever there's a breakdown or they need an update, or for example, they need to have a new or support function incorporated in their operation, unfortunately, it's not as excellent as the operation itself. And I would say mentally, this simply make those companies are reluctant to expand and implement this automation across the whole operation. So this is, I would say, an obstacle that both the technology company, in terms of the warehouse automation company, and the logistics company itself, they have to consider and make sure that they properly plan it ahead. So why do we even have to consider and talk about those points? Because once again, whenever we see a successful logistics company that they are currently having a fully operational, fully automated warehouse, how were they able to overcome all those challenges? And literally, from the operational cost and manpower perspective, they were able to achieve those values and those merits. I believe it's an ongoing process that if due diligence, I would say robust planning was done ahead, if it was done in several stages with different learning processes, I believe automation is here to actually use. It's an excellent opportunity to cope up with the increasing demand. But the question is what those companies need to do. What should they consider? As in any, I would say, project that you're incorporating in your warehouse operation, whether you're actually using or implementing full automated technologies or even expanding the warehouse itself, you need to first fully evaluate and assess what you are doing right now. What are the bottlenecks? What are the issues? What's our projection down the road? Right now, for example, this is our operation baseline. Where will be in the next 5 years? So you need to have an actual documented and measured baseline and assessment of your operation, because this will help you understand where automation can fit in your existing operation. Automation is not a one team job. So don't only focus on your operational staff. Yes, they will use it on a daily basis, but it involves your IT department. It involves your finance and budget or accounting department. It involves your HR team. Whenever right now we want to upskill 20 of our staff so they can move in other functions within our warehouse because we no longer need them in those fully automated warehouse, the HR team needs to be aware so they can develop those transition and training and upskilling opportunities. We need to, I would say, perform a fully fledged feasibility study that covers the financial aspect, that covers the operational aspect, that covers the infrastructure and the technology aspect. We need to be 100% confident that we know exactly how and where and when this full automation system solution will actually translate into measurable improvement. What about the interoperability between what we have right now and those technology? We need to have a seamless, I would say, compatibility. As I mentioned in one of the challenges area, areas that we have to avoid earlier, we need to make sure that we don't end up indirectly developing silos that I would say differentiate between those new fully automated sections or operation and the one where we have our staff. I've seen several warehouses where literally, with all due respect, the fully automated section is simply looked at or dealt with as a different business entity with the warehouse. This shouldn't be that way, because all of our staff should be fully and operationally qualified to perform, whether it is a fully automated function or the existing one. So all of those, I would say, technologies, manual, I would say, or even semi-manual operation, they have to coexist. They have to cooperate together. Another, I would say, point that we need to consider when we look at those technologies, there is no technology or solution that is best for any or all companies. There is no one size that fits all. So we have to consider which system, which technologies allow the customization and scalability aspect of those warehouse operations. As we mentioned earlier, one of the merits or the values of the full automation that it allows our operation to be scalable. So for example, right now in the case of, for example, Ramadan coming up, this is a seasonal requirement, or in other countries, for example, like Christmas or during, for example, November sales. Maybe I don't need to have a warehouse that can, for example, process, let's say, 30 or 40,000 pallets a day. I need it only during Ramadan. So I need to make sure that this full automation will help me achieve this, rather than having contractors during this high peak season. What about going back to looking at the actual and the existing design? Do we have to modify it? Or do we have to make any actual infrastructure changes? Do we have to improve the current flows? For example, whenever we add a new fully automated equipment movement, we need to consider, for example, those staff that they coexist. Another, I would say, important and sometimes overlooked aspect is simply, in addition to the actual equipment that we'll use in the full automation, we need to also embed and ensure that we have other supporting technologies, such as AI, such as, for example, IoTs, having 5G, connectivity. Imagine if you're one of, I would say, the reason why you are developing or implementing this full automation is that you want to have a real-time visibility. However, you are in an industrial area where connectivity is quite bad. So simply you are starting with a very advanced system. However, the infrastructure doesn't support you.
We need to connect. Dr. Khalid, we have just 1 minute, okay?
Sure.
To go to the second speaker. Thank you.
Sure. The last, I would say, a set of steps is having the user-centric design. We need to have make sure that we develop and build this system, take into account the people. It's not a system that will work in isolation. Our implementation has to be phased. We need to start with a pilot project. It's not a one-go full automation. Finally, the merit of automation is having the data. So we need to have this predictive analytics part that will help us ensure that we are better informed when it comes to the decision. I would say the last point that I would highlight is you need to have some of those set of those, I would say, key success factors. Full automation without tying it to the business strategy will not succeed. You need to have cultural change component. You need to cultivate the improvement culture, making sure your staff fully immersed and involved. You need to have the performance aspect. How can you simply avoid it? And then finally, you need to be adaptive. Otherwise, you will run into issues where simply your full automation is good today. 10 years from now, it's no longer the right automation. I think now we conclude. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions later.
Yes, Dr. Khalid, thank you very much. Please, if you have any question, please put it in the Q&A box, and at the end of the session, from the three speakers, we will raise the question one time. So now we will move with the second speaker, Dr. Mohammed Fouad, the Senior Planning Manager at Riyadh Cement Company, to speak about the warehouse excellence.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. تفضل دكتور محمد.
Just the presentation. The presentation is seen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. بس لو تقرب من المايك يعطيك العافية.
Okay, I trust it.
حط على البرزنتيشن مود و go ahead. توكل على الله.
تمام كده؟ الصوت voice is okay؟
لا الصوت جدا واطي.
ثانية واحدة.
اوكي دكتور محمد. دكتور محمد فؤاد.
أعتقد الصوت كويس كده؟
ايه ممتاز. ممتاز الصوت كده، يعطيك العافية.
Okay, I will start sharing.
يلا بسم الله.
Okay, hello everybody. Today, inshallah, we'll talk about warehouse excellence. Okay, my name is Mohammed Fouad. As a doctor introduced me, I'm a strategic planning and business development in Riyadh Cement. I'm around 22 years of experience in industry in general. I worked in around 22 countries all over the world, mainly in Middle East and Africa. I'm specialized in generally as a transformational leader in transforming the business into the new trends. I have my DBA, MBA from Slaska. I'm originally engineer. Today, inshallah, we will speak about the warehouse excellence. So how we can achieve, this is the first question, how we can achieve the warehouse excellence. The warehouse excellence can be achieved by achieving excellence result. Excellent result means sustainable result. Excellent sustainable result, which is, of course, for the shareholder is increasing the profitability and improve the customer satisfaction. can be done by enhancing the operational efficiency and optimizing the cost, which is very important. So how we can achieve this sustainable result? But we should put a smart objective for the business, and today we'll focus about the warehouse. We should optimize the cost of the warehouse and increase the productivity, and of course maximize the accuracy and enhancing the customer service and optimizing the space utilization. This point we'll talk about today. Enhancing the employee satisfaction, which is very important nowadays, and reducing the environmental impacts, because we are considering the environment now as one of our top priorities. To achieve this objective in an excellent and sustainable way, we should have our resources, which of course the human resources, which are skilled labor and dedicated team and experienced managers. And of course, the financial resources, which is investment in technology. We should do some investment in technology nowadays to be adapted with the new trends. And of course, the training of people and the infrastructure. Investing in technology is parallel with the training. We need to train the people on the new technologies. That's why we need to consider it in the financial resources. Of course, the warehouse nowadays should be adapted with the new technologies. So technology resources is very important for us in the warehouse management system as a control system and the management system. So we should consider as in our resources WMS, warehouse management and warehouse control system, and of course the automation equipment, which consider some maybe transportation, maybe some tools and equipment, and data analytical tools, which is very important nowadays, and we should consider the machine learning and the AI. And the last resources is the physical resources, which will maintain facilities, efficient layout, and appropriate storage equipment. The foundation of warehouse excellence is the inventory management, the order fulfillment, and receiving and put away transportation, which will become very important today. We will focus on it today. The warehouse and layout and design, technology and automation, labor management, safety, and sustainability. So our scope of work, if we need to consider warehouse excellence and apply the methodology of warehouse excellence in our business. So this can be depending on specific context. Of course, as we said, inventory, order fulfillment, receiving and put away transportation, warehouse and design, labor management, safety, and sustainability. So our objective, as we said, to reduce cost, increase productivity, improve accuracy, enhance customer service, optimize the space utilization, enhancing employee satisfaction, and reduce environmental impacts. Three aspects we will consider, which is operational efficiency, the customer satisfaction. Okay. For the operational efficiency, we will optimize the layout and the space. We should understand that any space of warehouse meaning cost. And if I can replace for manufacturing or another process, I can utilize it. So maximizing storage capacity is very important, and ensuring smooth flow of the goods is very crucial. The second thing of the operational efficiency is automation process. We should utilize technology for picking, storage, sorting, labeling. This should be automated. So whenever I can automate, I can do the automation. I should keep up with the manufacturing advancement. So nowadays, warehouse industry and the supply chain industry is very important, which is of the top industries all over the world. So we should consider to be on the same base with another industries. So we should consider automation process and utilize any technology can be available and take the take any opportunity to make sure that we use automation. As we said, this will boost our productivity and accuracy. Efficiency inventory management, which is the real-time data on stock level. We should have the real-time data on stock level, and of course, accurate forecasting and effective baking strategies and the key. The last one in operation efficiency is maintaining the labor optimization, which is, as we said, the training of people, implementing ergonomics practices, which is very important nowadays. You know, because this the health and safety is one of our first priority. We should show the ergonomics and the physical fit of people and the way they are using the handling, the way they are sitting, the way they are moving. This is very important, and this should be considered with design. So we should make a lot of effort to improve the ergonomics practices, and we should educate our teams about that. About the customer satisfaction, we should be flexible. So we should adapt with any change of customer needs. And as we see, the market is changing in a speed way. And we have scalable operations. This is very important because it will affect our cost. Also, the order accuracy and fulfillment speed this is very important. Now, speed and time delivery time is very important to satisfy the customer because of the lifestyle and the new technology. So we should think about the integration of production with supply chain. This approach is very important. That we have the production lines is integrated in the same place with the warehouse. So why we think about that? First of all, the information sharing and visibility. The real-time data exchange. Implement a robust data management system to share information in inventory levels, production schedules, orders, forecast between production, warehouse, and other supply chain partners. This enables information decision-making and proactive adjustment. Now, the warehouse will be a part of the production line. So this is very easy to convey the information. We can do better improvement in the area of even the production and or the warehouse and the inventory. Of course, we will have better forecasting for demand. So, of course, by using and utilizing predictive analytical to accuracy forecast and demand will allow us allowing production to plan accordingly and the warehouse to optimize the storage and the space and the resources. And as we said, the meter in the warehouse costs us a lot. Of course, this will also enable us traceability and transparency, that we implement a track and trace system to monitor the movement of goods throughout the supply chain, enhancing visibility and accountability. So everything will be seen in the production line as the warehouse integrated with the production line. Also, process optimization and collaboration. We can very simply have just-in-time Kaizen, Kanban system, which and cooperative planning and forecasting. This will very easily. Now the process is one sync process between the operation and the warehouse. Of course, this is also, as you know, the manufacturing is very advanced and they are using technology automation. So the management system of the warehouse will also using the same on the production line. So we can see robotics, we can see picking and sorting machine, we can improve the accuracy of transportation, we can using the integrated system of execution of manufacturing and the warehouse. So the warehouse in this case will be a part of the production line. Of course, this will, in some places and some region, will overcome the manpower skills. Also, it will in some region and in some countries, because not all the cost of the labor is not the same. The skills of the people are not the same in all countries. So robotic and automation can replace in some places the manpower and increase the efficiency of the work. One of the benefits of the integration is reduces lead time and improve delivery speed. This is because this will from hand to mouth. Lowering the inventory carrying cost and improve the inventory accuracy, because everything will be seen on place and we will not overproduce. In this case, we don't have very big space, so we will produce as the demand. Increase production efficiency and flexibility. in any time the process mapping can be changed. تفضل.
Yes, we have 1 minute to wrap up. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So additional consolidation, we should, if we want to implement this philosophy of integration and production with the warehouse, we should consider the size and the complexity of the operation and the level of automation and the skills of the people. Of course, and this time we can easily apply lean methods, which continuous improvement, and minimize the non-value adding and the waste to have the efficient, reliable integration between production and the warehouse to achieve the warehouse excellence in this case. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad. There are some questions, but we will leave it at the end,
Okay.
if there are any. Now let us move with the third speaker, Mr. Dominic Regis. He's the founder and director at Takeover Private Limited to speak about the changing landscape of futuristic VMS.
Right. Thank you, Abdul Majid. Hope I'm audible. Let me try to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Just one second. Hold on a minute. Hope it's full view now. So in the spirit of the time, let me rush on few things. And I may skip few slides, just to cover up within the time. We're going to talk about the current trends and also the future trends, which is expected very soon to be in the technological landscape of warehouse management solution. I'm Dominic Regis. I'm co-founder and director of Takeover, and I have around 23 years of experience, both in technical as well as in the warehouse domain. I had the privilege of operating from the both ends, which has helped me to form this company, which will solve the ground pain of the warehouse industry, which is being faced now. Not just offering the technologies which is available in the market, but to solve your business pain point. That is our motto. The outline of our presentation today would be on spending some time on the current trends. And as I said, we'll also focus on future development and see some challenges and solution, and a couple of key studies followed by Q&A. I would encourage you to ask more questions because I want you to go with some good takeaway after this meeting. We have seen a lot of good statistics from yesterday to understand why we are doing this conference and where the Saudi Arabian market is going with respect to the warehouse and cold chain. So we are doing great, and we are anticipating greater result and greater money to be involved by 2030. And as you see the CAGR rate, that gives the impression where we are heading to and the pace where we are heading with. We are going to spend some time on current trends. This is the first section of my presentation. So we are going to see what are the influences of this current trends, first of all. So as you see, the paradigm shift in the consumer market that has paved the way for the current trend, which is being done at the technological world in the warehouse management domain. So the consumer market has evolved on its own after the situations which we face due to the pandemic, and also the younger generation who have come for this consumer market. So they order it and they expect it not on the same day, but in the same hour today. So that is the speed, which is required to deliver the goods now, which means how operationally efficient we are in the back end. That is especially in the warehouse side, how operationally efficient to cope up with the front-end requirements. That is what is going to determine the whole supply chain success. and also the emerging technologies, which is offering a lot of interesting infusions, which needs to be amalgamated with the business requirement in the warehouse side, not just for the sake of infusing the technology, but to solve the specific business cases which will actually yield the business result. And not to say to go with the picking efficiency and give the holistic supply chain experience. We cannot shy away from the basic WMS processes. We can talk about all the technologies. We can talk about all the process enablements, but we need to play around with these 4 pillars: inbound, outbound, make and change, location management, including the stock own process. I'm not going to spend much time here, as this is self-explanatory, and all know these core processes have to be addressed when you bring some excellence to your warehouse. We all started with moving to the cloud-based solutions. So that is where we moved from the on-prem solutions to SaaS solutions, software as a solution, basically, which has helped us to forget about the capex investment which we need to do when we go for a solution implementation to any domain. Okay, so be it ERP or be it the point solutions like WMS or LMS or LMD or even transport management system. So we moved from the on-prem to SaaS world, which will help us to scale as we need and also pay as we use. And also we have moved to the HST, which is a game changer. So the HST, the handheld terminal, which is used for scanning your good and doing your operation at the ground while you confirm the transaction from the ground itself. Gone are the days where you do the operation at the ground and enter the data in the desktop afterwards. So that will give a lot of room to miss few key activities which you have done, and also there will be a time lapse, obvious time lapse. So wherein this HST has bridged that gap, it has allowed us to confirm the transaction as we complete the operation. So while we confirm the transaction in the handheld terminal using your scanner device or any Android device, it will automatically confirm the corresponding transaction both in the WMS as well as the relative systems which are integrated, such as ERP or last mile delivery system. Yeah. So you might wonder why we are seeing robotics, AI, ML, and IoT in current trends while we consider these are future trends. These technologies are available now. The challenge is how we are adapting this technology to solve our business case. That is where the challenge is. There are a lot of use cases and there are a lot of implementations which has happened. But if you ask us, having spent a considerable amount of time in doing the market study and also doing implementations across the world, starting from US, China, and Middle East countries. So we have seen a lot of business cases still being unaddressed. So the challenges are, the gaps in business need and what these technologies can offer. And also when it comes to the IoT sensors, the compatibility of the sensor, as well as what to do with the accumulated data. The sensors can throw you the data in abundant way. You will be handled with tremendous amount of data. How to segregate the data, how to slice and dice the data, how to filter it, and how to use it for your operational excellence. That is where the challenge lies, and that is where the expertise lies. We are moving to the future developments. Here, I'm going to focus on one element and also some steps which we need to do more on how than what. So we have seen a lot of what's since yesterday. What is being offered by the AI world, what is being offered by the AR, VR or blockchain world, but how to start, where to start, how does it apply for me? So that should be the takeaway for you from the sessions. That's what I'm trying to help you with. So some of the future roadmaps here. So as you see here, the most important thing is to do the technology versus skill mapping, and also not to just address the higher elements of the technology, but also some of the key areas which has been left unaddressed, like structural dynamics versus technology. So what does it mean? So the warehouse has space. It's all to do with your space management. That's your first and primary activity when you deal with the warehouse optimization. And of course, with the inventory, what it is being available for you, how to optimize the inventory to give the revenue as well as cost benefit to your company. So the structural dynamics. So no longer you can just live with the rigid structure of your warehouse, irrespective of your business growth. So the seasonality in demand defines what to store and how to store in your warehouse. So within a single year, you need to go with multiple storing strategies, using a space in a more efficient way. So with example, using the foldable racks for staging, which will help to use a space in space for some other activity when there is no need for the foldable racks, or readjustable racks to support your e-commerce fulfillment. All this need to be considered when you're doing the structural realignment in your warehouse. So how does a technology should help there? So that is where you need to focus more when you're bringing a technological partner to support you. So not just the standard inventory optimization, but also the space utilization and how it can help you to visualize how my space will be there in the future to support my next quarter or next year's need. And also we're going to spend some time on the predictive analysis for demand forecasting. So the demand is not just for the inventory alone, but also for the space. And we have seen some elements when somebody from SAP has done the presentation yesterday. Spent some time on AR/VR, traceability enabled by the blockchain, and the eco-friendly processes where we talked about sustainable warehouses yesterday. The first important thing is to plan your warehouse. A true subject matter expert in your warehouse should answer all these questions, or should have these answers in the fingertip. So for example, what is the forecast plan, and how do you do the forecasting for your warehouse with respect to the space? He should have the answer in his hand, or with respect to the equipment. And also the most important thing, the picking put away cycle metrics. So basically, what is the picking cycle? What is the put away cycle for your average average volume of picking or average volume of put away, and also your peak time picking cycle or put away for the peak time when your containers are more to offload. And also not to overlook the safety and damage protection insights, which are legal requirements to adhere with, especially in the country like Saudi Arabia, where we need to align with a lot of fire restrictions which is being provided by the government, which you need to adhere, and also a lot of other safety and legal requirements which you need to adhere with. So if some technology can help you to monitor that, to give you some preventive insights, then that is the technology you need to choose. Of course, your resource planning, you need to do the planning of the resource with your subject matter expert, and also compare with the actuals to redefine and reiterate your resource planning time and again. So I'm going to skip the others in the spirit of the time. Now, this is a bit tech-heavy slide. I'll try to simplify as much as possible. So yesterday we have seen what AI can offer. Today we are going to see something like how to do that. The first thing is strong historical data, multi-source. So not just relying on your WMS or the systems within your landscape alone, but also the other systems like your partner's LMD or your core ERP system, if it is not tied up with your warehouse management system. And of course, the market trends, which can be taken from stock market or a lot of other social media trends which are followed. So where this unstructured data should be handled. So the rest of the sources should be found under the structured data. Once you have all this data to play with, you need to find the task or model which will support you. Regression and classification falls under your supervised learning, wherein clustering falls under your unsupervised learning. You need to understand which particular machine learning you're going to take before you slice and dice your data, or before you go with your next step of ML cycle. And after that, once you classify your data, once you classify test data and trial data, then you're going to come with selection of your algorithm to define your model. So that selection of algorithms, you have plenty in the market, decision trees or Bayesian networks or association rules or vector machines, classifications, or k-means. Yeah, so you need to select the algorithm which will help you to give the model which will help to address the core issue which you want to address with this AI enablement in your warehouse. For example, prediction of inventory is your need. Then you need to select the decision tree or the association rules, which will give you the liberty to play with multiple algorithms, not just restricting with what is being offered by the standard machine learning algorithms. So when you see this one, the popular algorithms which is being used in the market starts with ARIMA, LSTM, or XGBoost. So we have found XGBoost as an extreme influencer in the prediction of inventory management through from our experience where we have implemented machine learning and WMS for various companies. And what will be my final say here? My final say is, don't go with standard available models or algorithms alone. Try to always find to inject your own business challenges, which brings the customization into picture. So the customization is not limited with your warehouse management solution implementation alone, but also in the ML part, where you need to bring your business knowledge requirement to the standard models which are available, which will give you the forecasting models in the optimized way, which will yield the results which you are expecting. Okay. If you have any questions, you can post me on this slide because it is a bit tech heavy, I know that, but it will help you to pave your roadmap for enabling your warehouse to the next level of technologies like ML or IoT. Challenges and solution. Yes. It is good to start, good to have your technological goosebumps. We are hearing about IoT, we are hearing about AR, VR, we are hearing about ML and AI everywhere. But should I get the goosebumps? Should I, force my company to go for it? So that is where you need to, that is what you need to ask first yourself. And that will bring you to the second one, which is checking your basics. It is a very, very boring task, but you cannot go away with it when you want the results to be achieved. So check your basics, check your company's USPs, check your company's operational model, then select the technology and solution partner who will help to achieve your result. So categorize your roadmap. So split into two, functional and technical. This is very, very important. Under the functional side, what are all the process enhancement you want to do? What are all the model enhancement you want to do? For example, if you do not have resource management at this time, how do you enable the resource management module into, or how do you bring the resource management module into your warehouse management solution? Or if it is simple technical enhancement, like enabling your analytics, multi-analytics, or enabling the AI/ML engine or IoT engine, then do the roadmap accordingly. So split always these into two and try to find a balance between functional and technical side. Forecast your business impact, define your timeline, which is very, very important. So this is, again, the fifth point is again very, very important. And most of the projects where we have implemented suffer at this point. So do a proper segregation between your operational team and project team. So make your team in a way it will support to yield your result. If your operation team is going to do the project work also, it is going to not yield the results which you are expecting. That, or at least you cannot complete the task in time, which will demoralize the entire project team. So pay your attention while you're forming the team. Give the detailed analysis to your business. Identify your source data structures. Define your assets and to be. And finally, define the medium. Medium here, what I mean is technology. It can be a technology, it can be a simple case and measure, or it can be a simple process measure. Ultimately, what you need is to solve your business case, not implementing the technology, but solving a business use case. So, and also define your phases. How do you want to do? Define the pilot phase, define the trial phase, and roll out to your multi-warehouses.
Yes, we have 1 minute to wrap up. Thank you.
I'll just try to wrap up. I am going to skip this case studies for now. So, which again we have done for multiple industries. So this case study is basically the inventory projection which we have done for a retail global leader, where they had a handful of challenges, and we have helped them with our product, the solutions. And I'll wrap up with this slide. This will be my final slide. So finding the right partner. So this is where you need to focus on before, after you have your roadmap, internal roadmap, finding the right partner to achieve your goals. So what are the elements you need to look when you're looking for a partner? Whether they have the business array, which is matching with your operational requirements, whether they have the tech array to solve your future issues, and whether they have the expertise. So here you need to see whether they're talking the same language you're talking, whether they're using the same jargons, whether they understand your domain, whether they can do the wholesome consulting. So whether they can use, they give the structural design as well as the technological advancement. So all these expertise have to be looked in a very careful nature, and also raising the bar. So how their CI/CD mechanism is continuous improvement, continuous development, because it is not just a one-time thing. They need to travel with you to achieve your roadmap. And whether they have, a bird eye on the market thing, and also to have an eye on logistics ecosystem to give them the holistic view of achieving the end-to-end result. Yeah, I stop here, and as I know Abdul Majid will open for the question, I'll wait for your questions and try to answer it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Now let us go with the Q&A if there is any question. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Fouad. Thank you, Dr. Khalid Al-Jehani. Thank you, Mr. Dominic. And now let us go with the break, and we will return back at 12:15. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you.